Hi, so my name is Carrie Johnston, and I'm here today in beautiful Dakwakata-Haines Junction on the traditional territory of Champigny-Nejiac First Nations, and I'm joined by Mark Wykes, who's in Whitehorse on the traditional territory of Quinlan Dun First Nation and on Cochin Council. Welcome, Mark.
Hi, Carrie. Thanks. Beautiful day.
It's a stunning day here all across the territory, I think. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Could you just tell us a little bit about what you do?
Yeah, so I'm a grocery retailer. I run own and operate the Your Independent Grocer store here in Whitehorse, which is a Loblaw franchise store, part of a big operation. And yeah, certainly a ton of challenges doing that logistically and in our area in the Yukon. It's very difficult to do.
How long you've been in that line of work?
I've been working in that store. I think I'm in my 30th year. 29th or 30th year there. I was in a store in Vancouver for almost 4 years prior to that. So yeah, almost 35 years.
And I imagine this last couple of weeks, months has been like none other.
You know what? The last couple of weeks have been pretty good because we found our new normal. The couple of weeks prior to that was probably the most challenging I've had in my entire career. So, and I ran the extra food store here in Whitehorse for 10 years prior to this one, now just over 5. So in all my 15 years in operation at the helm, definitely not more challenged than I had been the last, a month ago.
You just described sort of a new normal. So what sort of transitioned in your business model over the last couple of months?
Well, I'll tell you, so chaos hit very quickly for just about everybody, and we didn't really have too many things in place, too many measures to keep the business running well. So the new normal today, we have every other checkout closed for social distancing. I have plexiglass up for my cashiers because they cannot have that 6 feet from the customers. I have a guard at the front door, so a third-party security company that I hire for all hours of operation to manage the customer count within the store. I have directional lines in every single aisle in the store, so it's a one-way flow. So we try not to have people approach each other in an aisle where they might not have their distance. And sanitizer station at the front of the store. There's just move the cart corral so it's closer. I mean, there's just so many things that you wouldn't even think of that are in place today. That is our new normal and probably will stick around for quite some time. But yeah, it certainly feels comfortable now, which is great because it really didn't.
Yeah, I imagine it was quite a shock and quite a huge transition for everybody.
Yeah, it was. And I found the biggest thing because the public weren't educated. We weren't even educated, but my staff were afraid. So, so the biggest thing for me was losing staff. I didn't really care about not having groceries on the shelf and all those things that I really didn't control. But it was when people were not comfortable because they weren't getting the respect from the customers that they deserved, or the education part wasn't out there enough. It wasn't communicated well enough. We were in a tough spot there for a bit.
Yeah, your staff are essential workers. They're so important, and their safety is hugely important.
Yeah, it is. I mean, the changes came quickly. I think the biggest thing that I did was limiting the customers in the store, so we never get chaotic now. And it's difficult for me to ask my customers to line up outside the front of the store. But when I go out there and I talk to the lineups of people out there, and the lines aren't long, it might be 5-minute wait at longest, but they're happy with it. And I tell them they'll appreciate it when they get in the store, and certainly that my staff appreciate it. And, if they weren't outside lining up, then I probably wouldn't have any staff. So, we got to control that. So that feels good.
What have you learned about your leadership style over the last little while?
Boy, it takes a lot to hold it together. In all the years, I've had a lot of different challenges, all kinds of different things that, you get thrown curveballs often. But, this one was day after day and hour after hour, and progressively for about 2 weeks, it got worse and worse. So one of the things is the integrity that you have. I think that, we're a strong leadership team in the store. We really banded together. We've changed our roles. It's interesting, not speaking for myself in particular, but, with my staff, Carrie, my managers, when I'm asking them to do different things, you run the deli, but we shut half of it down. So now you're actually overseeing half of the store, or the total store at some hours, or, you might be locking it at the end of the night, or, unloading trucks, or all kinds of different things that all my different department managers are doing today that they hadn't done in the past. So it's really helping us build as a team too, which is kind of fun.
So everybody's kind of getting a more diverse experience in their role.
Yeah, everyone's developing. It's really good, and again, we were already a good team, but it's making us even stronger. So that's fantastic.
What advice would you have for business owners out there? Maybe somebody who's trying to start a business right now, or somebody who's operating a business.
Boy, starting a business, I'd be unless you're selling hand sanitizer or cleaning products or yeast, I think. I'd stay away from that for a little bit until we level out. But business is fun, and it's not for everybody. But if you're driven, if you've got some entrepreneurial spirit in you, and you got some drive, and you're keen, and you got lots of energy, then there's lots of niches out there. Go for it, I say. But the time is probably just a little off right now.
Fair enough. There are opportunities that are sort of opening themselves up, new ventures, new things that are starting to come online, and it's sort of an interesting time as we sort of have settled into what this sort of new normal is for us.
Yeah, I'd agree. I don't know, when the smoke clears here, and who knows how long that will be, but when it does, it'll be interesting to see, because there will be opportunities present for sure. But there likely will be some things that we've taken for granted in the past that won't be there anymore, and there might not be a need for anymore. So, be cautious.
What's been your wellness practice to kind of keep you grounded over the last couple of weeks?
Personally, yeah, I love the outdoors. I wouldn't live in the Yukon if I didn't love the outdoors. So I've been on my boat already. I did a 4-wheeler ride with a couple of friends on Saturday. Just getting out there, enjoying with the weather turning and so on. It's just very therapeutic and alone time for me. I find that I'm bombarded all the time with people, and I enjoy people a lot, but I don't always need to see them when I'm not working. I've got a great family. I've got a couple of boys at home and my wife at home, and I get enough social there. So I don't mind the the groups of 10 not happening and so on right now. Although, we used to enjoy that a lot. I'm not missing it. We're good. We miss our friends, but I'm happy just being outside.
Connecting with family, being outside, there's nothing better than that, really.
Well, and you were mentioning you were gardening today, and I'm out there puttering in the yard for sure as well. I find that it's therapeutic again. I enjoy it.
I know, and with such beautiful weather, it's hard to not put more plants in the ground, but I know that it's too unseasonably warm for them right now.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I don't think it's going to hold, but enjoy it while it's here.
Exactly. Any aha moments for you about your business over the last couple of months?
Well, I learned for sure, being such part of such a large corporation, that Loblaws, all those Loblaw ties, although, I did try and source a lot of different products wherever I could. They certainly worked for us to try and make sure that we could get paper products back in stock, and flour, all these things that I found very difficult to source. They were able to pull some strings with the big levers they have, and get some product in for the Yukoners, which is great.
That's good to hear. And you saw, sorry.
No, that's it. It feels good. It feels good to be a part of something larger. I like to think that we're out here just slugging away on our own, but when you need some help, and you've got that kind of help outside within the nation, it's comforting. We know that we're not going to starve up here ever.
We hear that a lot in this interview series. It's all about relationships and sort of reaching out when you need help, and sort of extending your network as much as you can, whether that's in the Yukon or nationally or internationally.
Yeah, it's been great, you know, dealing with all the local vendors and producers that we have in the Yukon. A lot of products that I sell in the store, there's people coming to me with new ideas about what to do today. And I think people will be eating products that are sourced closer to home and so on. So, you know, I think that that's amazing. And the vendors that I've had in there for quite some time are seeing great sales increases. For whatever reason, you know, the coffee vendors, I've got 4 of them. And they say they're all doing well, and maybe it's because the coffee shops are closed. I don't know, but it's just neat for me to hear that they're actually selling more product than they had been by quite a margin. Neat.
Well, I admit that there was one thing that I hoarded when this all started, and it was my favorite coffee that I pick up at your store from one of the local coffee chains. I picked up an extra pound normal than what I would normally buy because I just couldn't face the idea of not having it.
Well, there you go. Yeah, and yeah, I think you're not the only one.
I don't think so. Yeah. Any song, book, podcast, something that you'd recommend that's kind of getting you through these days?
You know, there was a song that's just it's probably hitting the charts even. I think it's Luke Combs with 6 Feet Apart.
Okay.
That's kind of I think it's Luke Combs. Anyway, a great song, and it really speaks to what the world we're living in today. Yeah. And you know what? Ben Charlie, good customer of mine. He's a Shona FM host, and he gave me a copy of one of his a fiddle album. So I've been playing that in my truck, and it's just nice to listen to.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's a great story. Yeah. Any final thoughts on sort of the local food movement here in the territory? You mentioned it a little bit, but it's certainly been an emerging theme, and perhaps that's even where we'll see some new startup businesses sort of as a result of this pandemic.
Yeah, I'd agree. Some suppliers can't keep up to demand right now. I think people are really thinking about products sourced close to home. I think and it already had a ton of momentum in the last few years. I mean, growing and growing all the time with new vendors, new producers, growers. And I don't see that stopping anytime soon. And I don't think that's just here in the Yukon. I think that's pretty much everywhere. Although we are, because we are so remote and isolated from other large communities, I think that we are very, very supportive of our local producers. And that's fantastic. That feels amazing.
If a new vendor came to you and wanted to get something into the store, do you have any sort of things you'd like them to know in advance of sort of approaching you?
You know what? I've had a lot of great conversations over the years, and I'm open to almost anything, honestly, in the product lines that I carry today. You know, so we're sticking generally to food. Although I do sell magazines, and you know, there's a few other things in the store, but yeah, no, bring me your ideas and I'll try and help you get them into the market. I mean, really, it's more about you than it is about me, and it's about the local consumer than it is about the grocery store. So I've just happened to have a customer account that can probably help you get some volume and help keep you in business. So yeah, just contact me. Let's chat.
Fantastic. Hey, thanks so much for your time today, Mark.
Thanks, Carrie.
Okay, we'll see you. Bye-bye.
Take care.